There you are again, mate. Coming close. Just a bit closer. Even a bit closer. Because the more you drink, you see, the easier it'll be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? No. You're not really. You're looking, but what you're really doing is filtering, interpreting, searching for meaning. And my job is to take that most precious gifts you give me, your attention, and use it against you. Are you watching closely? Every magic trick has just 3 parts. The first part we call the pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary. A deck of cards, a bird, or even a man. He shows you this object. Perhaps he asks you to inspect it, to see that it is real, ordinary, normal, just like yourself. But of course it probably isn't. The second part is called the turn. The magician takes that ordinary something and makes it do something rather quite extraordinary. And you're looking for a secret, but you can't find it because, of course, you're not really looking. You don't really want to know. You want to be entertained, you want to be fooled. But you wouldn't quite clap yet because making something disappear isn't enough. You have to be able to bring it back. And that's why every magic trick has a third act. And that's the part that we call the prestige. Did you see it? Let's try it again. Are you watching? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you blink you see, the easier it will be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? Today, it is one of the top 10 most secure facilities in the entire world. Appearing on the list with locations like Saddam Hussein's bunker, which was built to withstand a nuclear attack. Area 51 with all of its secrets. The United States bullion vault at Fort Knox, where the United States keeps the majority of its gold. 5,000 tons at the latest count. Behind a 22-ton door. And the Bahnhof Underground Data Center, the world's most well-designed data center, located inside a nuclear bomb bunker about 100 feet beneath the Stockholm Mountain. Did you see it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you blink you see, the easier it will be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? This list of challenges for the most capable of infiltrators or escape artists includes a Cheyenne Mountain complex, a self-sufficient and self-contained village designed to withstand nuclear attack, an iconic Cold War relic hidden beneath the Rockies. It includes the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, located 80 feet below the street level in Manhattan, housing 6,350 tons of pure precious gold. It includes a separate structure that is not a part of the Vatican Library, containing an estimated 35,000 volumes of material on the Roman Catholic Church. It includes the Alcatraz of the Rockies, the administrative maximum facility in Florence, a men-only supermax jail designed to imprison the most dangerous criminals, regarded as the harshest federal prison in the entire United States. Equipped with 12-foot high razor wire fences, attack dogs that patrol the prison walls, 1,400 remote-controlled steel doors, pressure pads, cameras, and motion-detecting devices. And it includes the Tower of London Jewel House, which contains priceless artifacts of England's past and present kings. This is security at the White House. But don't you see it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming closer. Even closer. The more you think you see, the easier it will be to pull you. Are you watching closely? Most recently, there was a shooting. Probably a mere amateur, like the shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, or more recently at the Hilton in Washington, D.C. And this time just outside the 17th Street gates surrounding the White House. But it would literally take a thief, a professional, and complex keeper type tactics, at least one would reasonably think, to breach the 18 acres of exceptionally guarded and fortified land, surrounded by an iron fence enclosing the entire property, bulletproof glass, and a special Secret Service detail dedicated to protecting the first family at all times and at all costs. Probably one of the world's most tightly guarded structures, even more than Buckingham Palace. Advanced armaments, trained snipers, an iron gate food scanners, limited airspace overhead, bulletproof windows, radar on the roof, concrete obstacles, an air filtration system, infrared sensors, and other security devices surrounding the facility located on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And now apparently, with even more security features, with the installation of a new ballroom with literally an entire office building down below. But it wasn't always that way. Did you say it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it will be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? When I was just a lad, knee high to a grasshopper, as they say. I remember after departing the Regis Hotel, casually strolling down 16th Street, having to cross a busy Pennsylvania Avenue just to attend a meeting with my father at the West Wing. You still have to cross a busy street running past the front of the White House when I had visited with my classmates as just a freshman in high school. Back then you could even walk into Congress without going through a visitor center and metal detectors. But the security today is about as equal as it had been in 1975 in Eastern Europe, when our family had visited even Leningrad, Warsaw, Prague, and Moscow. However, most Americans may only see the White House in a movie, or on the news. Never attend a state dinner, a press conference, a meeting in the West Wing or the Oval Office, a briefing in the Situation Room, or shown in detail in the PEOC. Most Americans probably never really attend an Easter egg hunt, or even take a tour of the executive mansion as a tourist. But it remains, if only in imagination or fascination, a symbol of vast political and military power, perhaps the most potent in the entire world. A rich part of American history and culture, and short of accident of fortune, privilege of birth, maybe by happenstance being a player on a championship winning team, to get inside, really inside, unless you have the uncommon luck of somebody like Forrest Gump in the movies, to get inside the inner sanctum, most would agree that it would probably take a thief, or at least a good magician. Did you see it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? Because here's the trick. And it has to do with the novel virus, or rather magical virus. President Joe Biden, regardless of what you might think of him, had been one of the oldest presidents, and COVID-19 had been known from the earliest days to be particularly lethal among elderly. And so, not surprisingly, very few Americans were shielded as heavily from the coronavirus as President Biden. And after the Rose Garden super spreader, the American Rescue Plan had provided $350 billion for state and local governments, as well as $122 billion for schools that can be used to support making ventilation and filtration upgrades, like they were doing right there at the White House. And these dollars were put to work in communities around the country in improving heating, ventilation, and air conditioning HVAC systems. But even with all that, in the White House, the president still got impacted. Funding within the state and local fiscal recovery fund program, the elementary school and secondary education relief program could be spent on inspection, testing and maintenance of current ventilation systems, purchasing portable air filtration units with HEPA air filters, purchasing MERV 13 or higher filters for HVAC systems and air conditioners, purchasing fans, repairing windows and or doors, servicing, upgrading, or replacing HVAC systems consistent with industry standards and more. But even with all that, the president got impacted. On March 17, 2022, the Biden-Harris administration had released the National COVID-19 Preparedness Plan, a roadmap to move the entire country forward safely, continue to fight COVID-19. And that administration had launched the Clean Air and Buildings Challenge, a key component of the president's plan that had called on all building owners and operators, schools, colleges, and universities and organizations of all kinds to adopt key strategies to improve indoor air quality in their buildings and reduce the spread of COVID-19. A call to action for leaders in buildings, owners and operators of all types to assess their indoor air quality and make ventilation and air filtration improvements to keep occupants safe. And still, even the president in the White House got infected. But did you see it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it will be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? By the time of the super spreader at the White House, before a massive overhaul of the air filtration system, which had before then been one of the best in the world, with rumors that a person would not inhale the same air that they had just exhaled. More than 130 Secret Service officers who help protect the White House and the president when he travels had been ordered to isolate or quarantine because they had tested positive for the coronavirus, or had close contact with infected co-workers, according to 3 people familiar with agency staffing in the White House. And be quite an amazingly novel virus. Prior to the Rose Garden event, the Secret Service had refused to disclose how many of its employees had tested positive or had to be quarantined, citing privacy and obviously security reasons. And some had remarked about the difference between what was perceived as facing outside threats, like a shooter they had trained for, a gun, a bomb, or a biohazard, in a normal configuration, and being put at additional risk because of behavior they characterized as reckless at times. After White House Press Secretary Kelly McEnany had tested positive, finding agents protecting the president actually saying he felt like he and some of his colleagues had been spared only by a measure of good luck, not skill. While Trump campaign spokesman Hogan Gidley dismissed media concerns about the agent safety as absolutely stupid and foolish, Trump had aides there recording videos and taking photographs of him while he had been injected. While the mood within the White House remained somber, the staff fearful that they may have been exposed to the virus, confronting what had been incongruously described by the press as a new reality, a work site that won't seem like a bubble of safety, was then anything but. They also had been engaged in finger-pointing over conflicting reports released about the president's health. This was a lack of information reported internally. But did you see it? Let's try again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it will be for me to fool you. Are you watching closely? Are you really? At most, in reality, by December 2022, there had been as many as 98 million positive PCR tests in the entire United States. But even that had represented only about 8.8% of those who had been tested, which clinically is not very large. And research indicates that half of those had been reinfections, reducing your chances of just catching COVID-19 to about your chances of winning on a 2-number combination at roulette in Las Vegas, or for the academically inclined averse to gambling getting into a school like Harvard, far out of the reach of even most of the 60,000 applicants who try to do that each year. And so the threat of actually catching coronavirus was actually much smaller than many people had perhaps thought. And yet, defying those odds, President Biden, in the White House, the most secure facility in the world, with an improved air filtration system, had tested positive for COVID-19 in July 2022, even though he had been fully vaccinated and boosted. Scientific researchers at the Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health had determined that your chances of reinfection in just 6 months were less than 5%, which they had specifically described as a very rare chance. And physicians caring for the president had told the press that following his infection, Biden had experienced something a little less common, a Paxlovid rebound. Did you see it? Let's try that again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Coming even closer. The more you think you see, the easier it will be for me to fool you. Are you watching closely? By the first summer of the pandemic, scientists had determined that some 80% of patients in the outbreak in China had experienced nothing worse than mild pneumonia. However, indeed, more severe and fatal outcomes had been associated with elderly patients like the president, who were considered at higher risk. Still, overall, they had also determined that generally patients who had been infected had followed one of two possible paths: for those who had been infected and for those who had experienced fatal outcomes. And generally, fatal outcomes tended to proceed rather quickly in degeneration, including an incubatory period as low as just 4 days, extending the rapidly degenerating condition, terminating any COVID-19 associated death to just around a median of 17 days in Wuhan, while others had experienced a virologic remission period of around 20.1 days. In 20 days, approximately, you would know whether you were going to live or die. And reproducibility of results. This is before vaccines. And replicability of methods are fundamentally important aspects of what is called the scientific method. So consider that President Biden had initially tested positive on July 21st, 2022. According to a statement from his physician, he had received the antiviral medication Paxlovid, which can help prevent severe COVID-19 disease in people with underlying risk factors for more serious symptoms. Biden had completed his 5-day course of Paxlovid and tested negative on July 26, well below the 21-day remission period. But a few days later, on July 30th, he had tested positive again on an antigen test and went back into isolation. So fact-checkers are describing this as a second infection as a fully vaccinated and boosted patient. And then again, while on the campaign trail in July, but 2 years later, President Joe Biden had again tested positive for COVID-19 following an event in Las Vegas. However, given the incubatory period of at least 4 days for onset of illness, he could not have caught that in Las Vegas during his short visit there. And this resident of one of the most secure facilities in the entire world, with the best ventilation system in the entire world, then improved after the Rose Garden event, had gotten infected. But did you see it? Let's try it again. Are you watching closely? Coming close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be for me to pull you. Are you watching closely? On February 7th, 2020, in the first Trump administration, the HHS secretary had determined that the public health emergency was not a highly contagious disease at all, but rather a CBI agent presenting a heightened risk of attack, a biological weapon. On March 27, 2020, pursuant to Section 564 of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act, an anti-terror provision passed by the Congress after the terror attacks on 9/11, the HHS secretary had made the determination again, a determination agreed upon by each of the pharmaceutical companies that had been awarded an emergency use authorization. That was what the emergency was. A military emergency involving a biological weapon. But you chose a vaccine against the highly contagious disease. The Defense Production Act, which had been used to rapidly develop these medical countermeasures, had been enacted as an anti-terrorism statute during the Cold War in the 1950s. But you were told it was just a means to help to rapidly develop the vaccine. And so the president could only have been vaccinated with these products if the virus had been a biological weapon that had not leaked from a lab or was being used to attack. And apparently those bioterrorists have possessed the capability to even breach the security posture at the White House, infiltrate into the interior, and exploit the breach by delivering what scientists now determine to have been, for that environment, the equivalent of a pizza pie of coronavirus, large enough in diameter to eclipse the entire Washington Monument. How did that much product get inside that building? And even scarier, not even one security expert is talking about that cable. But did you see it? If not, then perhaps you really not quite a magician after all. Perhaps you really just want to be posed. But you wouldn't clap just yet, because making something disappear isn't enough. You have to be able to bring it back. And that's why every magic trick has a third act. That's the part we call the prestige. And unfortunately, he didn't make it.
so now, the war's over. I get out of Hotel Saigon. I made my way to your house. And now, son, I'm giving that war watch to you. This message was approved by Major Mike Webb. Honest.
We did all we could do. He just didn't make it. Honest.